Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the second video that I will send you regarding the seventh item of the syllabus entitled Grammatical Category. Before we define what is meant by category, it is better to have a sort of flashback or a background about the term category in linguistics. The term category as a term in linguistics has been used at different levels of abstraction. That is, it has been used as an abstract term. However, in some linguistic approaches, the term category usually refers to the classes of words like nouns, verbs, and also other grammatical classes such as subject, predicate, noun, phrase, verb phrase, etc. Usually when we talk about grammatical category, we have to make a reference to structure dependence principle. You know, according to this principle, the whole categories of words or phrases are subjected to grammatical operations rather than individual expressions. That is to say, words in English usually do not occur in isolation. However, they occur within a context, and their grammatical category, whether a word is a verb, an adjective, an adverb, whether a phrase, for example, is a noun phrase, whether we have a subject, whether we have a complement, this is usually determined by the context in which the word or the grammatical class or the phrase occurs. So that is to say, according to this principle, we can identify the category of individual words and also of other grammatical classes. However, now we come to the definition. What is meant by category? What is a grammatical category? Grammatical category, you see that, is a set of expressions which share a common set of grammatical properties. That is, it is a set of, or it is a class of expressions having a number or a common set of grammatical properties. That is to say, any group or any class of words which share the same grammatical features or properties should be classified into the same class. That is why here, for example, we have nouns, we have verbs, adjectives, etc. Well, for instance, here, as in these examples, words like, for example, boy, cow, hand, idea, place, team, all these words belong to the category of nouns because they have the same properties. For example, they accept the plural S ending or possessive S. The same thing for instance, if we talk about other examples. Verbs, for instance, usually belong to the same category because they are inflected or they have the properties of having third person singular form, the ing form, which is the gerund or the present participle, the past form, and the past participle. In general, بشكل عام, there are two different criterion through which we can identify the grammatical category of a word. These are the morphological criterion and the syntactic criterion. When we talk about the morphological property here, implicitly you are referring to the morphological criterion. For example, here if we talk about the plural S, for instance here. So any word that permits plural s should be what? Morphologically speaking, it should be classified or categorized as a noun. The same thing, for example, here, from a syntactic point of view, a noun is usually pre-modified by the definite article the. So morphologically speaking, from the inflectional point of view, any word in English that licenses, that permits plural s, and any word that permits, that is preceded or pre-modified by the definite article, should be classified, should be categorized as a noun. The bulk evidence in support of, you see that, postulating that words belong to categories is, as we have said, morphosyntactic. Morphosyntactic, yani we conclude that the evidence that supports us to postulate that words belong to categories is then morphosyntactic. So morpho, we have morphology and syntactic. Now we will talk about the morphological criteria. By the way, this is the first part of the video.